Channel 9 under siege.
Here he goes.
As big name joins Corn defection.
Ooh. Who's that?
So who's the big
So
name, Jim?
Caro
Yep.
joining Corn.
Yep.
Wow.
And Purple,
Look at him.
Yeah.
you and I, we normally trade blows on these things. You have gone to ground on me, haven't you? I've tried to get information out of you because I have a theory
Yeah.
that the V8 supercar driver
Yep.
has got his fingers all over this, and I'm of the belief that he's the next name to come across after those two. Am I right?
I have no idea what you're talking about, Jim. And I actually, you know what?
Push on him.
This is the problem I've got. I just did the sounding board with Hutchie. He gave me absolutely nothing on that, on air.
He is puppeteering this whole thing. There's no question in my mind that we're very shortly going to hear that he is also
Also
coming
gone.
across.
Oh, what?
Also gone.
Yes.
So
With his, what's his TV thing?
Yeah, so his Baby Bunting or whatever his bloody production company,
Yes.
they'll
Baby-
be
Ballpark, I think. Jim.
ballpark. They'll be doing it.
Damo?
He'll be
How would I know, Bill?
parceling this all up. I'm telling you.
Look, as far as I know, in fact, who knows anything in media anymore? As far as I know, I'm a 9-person, Bill. So I'm staying with
So
9.
no one's asked you to go across?
I'm staying at
Have
9.
you
Bill.
been asked to
I'm
go-
staying at 9.
Have you been asked?
I'm staying at 9, Bill.
No, Damien. Have you been asked, or your management?
I'm not commenting, Bill. I'm staying at 9. I have got to.
There are flames licking everywhere.
Everywhere.
So Eddie will be
Okay, hang
charging
on.
into 9.
Can you confirm?
He'll be trying to get something going on a Monday night now with what's his mob called? Jam TV.
Jam
Jeb
TV.
TV.
Well,
Well, he's already got that, hasn't he?
This is a
He already runs those Monday.
fascinating environment to
Yeah.
me, Purple.
Who leaves 7?
Can you confirm the Caro thing? Because that.
No, I can't just reading the paper.
Yeah, well.
Channel 9 under siege. So I can't confirm anything.
We can confirm Corn.
Corn's there.
So-
But
Caro and then Hutchie.
and
And
Hutchie as well.
Hutchie's running the whole thing.
Does anyone leave 7? Well, we know Tim, I
Well,
think.
you had
Well,
actually.
that
Now
was-
I've got mail. You had lunch today with Tim
Yeah,
Watson.
you did. So what
and
do
you
you
would
know?
have got some information out
and
of him.
he did not answer the question.
Luke
I asked
Darcy
him 3 times.
broke that news on Friday night.
And then he
Triple M.
tried to take it back when you might hear that at 5:05.
So did you say to Watto?
Yes, 3
what's
times.
Going, and he wouldn't answer.
He did not say he's leaving.
He'll be a
No.
great loss, by the way, if he,
will.
if he does leave.
Well,
he's
he's
been
been
bloody
around
good for
a
that.
long time. Reads the
Been
sport.
unbelievably good.
Yep.
Well,
Listen, you're a 7 icon. What is going on?
I'm not.
there?
I have.
You
I
are.
turn up and do my job. Is what I do.
Oh,
but
yeah.
what I'm loving is the fact that this is all going. No one enjoys this more than me. Well, maybe G Lion. He might be the only one that enjoys.
Because you
it
love the
more, but
egos of play, don't you?
I love it. I love how everyone just gets their little piece of something.
Corns will be missed.
You have had some good info on this along the way, brother.
I have.
You knew about Corn.
I knew about Corn,
Knew about
who
Corn.
I think is brilliant.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm loving it. All right, now the other thing I've got to put to you, Purple, because well, this is what we do on Triple M.
Normally you and I talk off air.
No, no.
I'm not worried about this.
You know I don't watch the show, so
Oh.
it came to me third hand. Did you and Chompers have a bit of a blue?
Oh, this is going around today. Now we had a blue about this
Good.
last year.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
it's an old sort of
Oh.
running gag thing, and
Right.
again, I probably did dirty up, Jim.
Good.
You don't
Yeah,
like it,
yeah.
do you?
I didn't like it given we were 10 minutes behind schedule,
Right.
and we had to get to the ad break.
You
So
didn't like
what
it.
I
did
didn't like
Chompers?
it, no,
what,
right.
what was it over?
It was similar. He was taking me off in a way
Right.
that I
You didn't
get it,
appreciate.
at the end
I
of a long
buy
season,
doit.
Jim.
Right.
We get a bit testy,
Good.
don't we? And I
I
might have
like
been a
it.
bit.
Nick
I might have
Larky like.
It might have been Mick Nucky like, yeah. Although I can cop it from Nick Larky. I'm not going to
Not
cop it from
the
TJ.
Chompers.
You did dirty up.
Because
You
he
could
can,
tell.
well, he can regale us with his stories too, can't he? All the time I met Bobby Skilton and they did an interview, so yeah.
I'm telling you, this is my favourite
falling
sport.
apart.
maybe we are on the siege, Jim.
On that 9 panel Sunday, it's falling apart.
That's good.
No,
No,
Brown's.
that's the beauty of 9. We actually have it out with each other on air, not behind
Yeah,
the
true.
scenes.
That's
Yeah.
true.
I think you lived that.
I did.
In fact,
bloody-
you were part of that ethos.
yeah, ethos.
Yeah.
Nate Brown, he's talking about going elsewhere too.
Brownie.
Presenting your
Poor
show
old
reel.
Brownie. I think he was asked to put in maybe 1 or 2 dummy calls to someone, and I think that someone has then leaked it to Gary, who leaked it to Tim, who
That's it.
leaked it to the world. And, yeah.
Fat. It's on like Donkey
Maybe
Kong.
we are
at
on the
minute.
siege, Jim. Maybe-
and I
maybe-
love it.
I might have to come back.
What are you
I love
doing?
it.
Yeah, when can you get you back?
Oh, fact.
Not with that shirt.
No,
I can't even get up to Melbourne.
Either.
I'll wear this
You,
shirt.
you've got a car wash place.
Oh,
around there.
that's
And you can car wash with the sketch.
That's it.
Now,
All right.
grand final news.
Oh,
Anything
grand
else?
final, yeah.
Yeah, it's this week, Damo.
Yeah, who's playing?
Fitzroy and South Melbourne.
That's right, Lewis. Yeah, I just wanted to come at this from. I felt, and now that we've seen it as freshly as Saturday just gone, the 5:15 start time for the preliminary final, Geelong versus Brisbane Lions. To me, that would be the perfect foray into moving the grand
Totally
final.
agree. I said it during the call.
Yep.
Why the hell we
Yep.
don't have the grand final starting at this exact time?
Yep.
So halftime is in the darkness.
Yes.
Yep.
Add 5 minutes to it. Put Katy Perry on during halftime.
Yep.
In
For
the
me,
dark.
that is perfect.
And it's finished by about 7:30, 8 o'clock. You
8
still
o'clock,
can
yeah.
go out
That's
and
it.
few
Yeah.
beers or dinner.
Yep.
Kids
I
can
love
go.
that.
And particularly with this particular game, so you've got Sydney and New South Wales obviously involved. The whole state will get behind the Swans. Equally, the whole state of Queensland will get behind the Lions. And when these people who don't follow AFL get their calendars together this week and realise, the non-core followers will be saying, when's this game start? What time does it start at night? And they've been told it's 2:30 on a Saturday afternoon. They're going to be shocked. So there's an opportunity missed here.
Yeah, I totally agree. And you know what I don't understand, and it was Gill prior to Andrew Dillon, now it's Dills. Don't ask anyone. Don't do any surveying.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Just
Lead
do it.
and just do it. And everyone will turn up and go, wow, this
But
is
guess
ridiculous.
what? It's going to be the most watched game, isn't it? The
Well,
grand
it'd
final.
be more watched if it was at night. There you go.
No, but it's going to
It
be
will
at
be.
2:30, and
Yeah.
they'll say, "Look at that! We
Yeah.
did it at 2:30.
Yeah.
It's the most watched game."
Yeah, they will say that because even people at 7, Jim, without naming names, that they are excited about that element of it because of the game between West Coast and Sydney Swans in the 05-06 period is considered the largest drawing national crowd for an AFL Grand Final, and this one will almost certainly top that.
Good. I
Yeah.
like that.
And you'll be
Righto,
calling it.
Yes.
Yes.
Can't
Yes.
wait for that.
Who's
All right.
calling it for Triple M? Are we-
The Friday team.
Friday team.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well done.
So where are we now? I see the votes came out. Isaac Heaney has the perfect 20.
He's going at
torn
10.
both of them to shreds.
He has, hasn't he? And I couldn't think of a better person to get the 10 out of what they did to the Port Adelaide team on Friday night. And Chad got 6 out of the possible vote combinations there. And yeah, he has just been the dominant player for the Swans pretty much all year and has stood up when required in both finals, particularly the first one, the qualifying final that they had to come from behind in against
We're
GWS.
going to get to the other game, which for me is that from the 19-minute mark of the first quarter to the final siren. That's the game of the year.
Unbelievable
It
game.
was just magnificent.
Pulsating.
No,
Get to that next.
Into the Brownlow straight after this, Damien Barrett.
Yes, I am, Rabsy.
Who with?
Addison, my son. It was my other son, Jensen, last year, and Addison this year.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, they'll enjoy it.
Ever want
They'll
to take
enjoy it.
your wife once?
She has got no interest, like zero interest. Bill. The 5
Good
or
on
6
her.
times she's been over 30 years of being invited or thereabouts has been the worst nights of her life.
Well done, Janine. Good. I like that a bit.
Yes. Now, where are we headed? Purple?
I
What are you
want
wanting
to
to go?
talk injuries, Jim, because there's a way of getting through the loss of a key player, and I'm talking about Oscar McInerney here on the weekend, where Joe Danaher stepped up magnificently in that moment, didn't he? And there's a way a footy club can deal with that on the run in game, but then you have the reality of dealing with it leading into the biggest game that these players will play this week, being a grand final, and now needing to replace him and work a game plan without
Darcy Ford?
Darcy Ford almost certainly will be the one. There's also a guy by the name of Henry Smith who played 4 games late-ish in this season. Darcy hasn't played since early in the season, but he's the type of person that each club likes to have, a battled, seasoned, older player who
You know
is
what
here
you're
for the
gonna
moments.
get.
Yeah, here for the moments. Now,
Not a champion, but you know what you get out of him.
the moments ideally are not grand finals,
No.
but here it is. So again, that will be the selection, I believe. Other injury issues, there's always injury and availability trauma, isn't there?
Yep.
Every single grand final team. Logan McDonald was taken off on the weekend, early in the last quarter. I felt it was precautionary. He did miss a training session yesterday, so there must be some.
But that's all
source
right.
there.
They would have said, "Don't train yet. Later in the week."
He'll be right.
I think you'd be right. I agree with
Have
you.
a moon boot on, as they all walk around in moon boots.
Then the big question is around Callum Mills, and I just can't see a way he gets to play. I say it for a few reasons.
Yes.
He didn't play till round 17 or 18, Bill,
Yes.
because of the shoulder damage sustained in the Mad Monday incident. It kept him underdone.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't performing well in those later season home and away
yes.
games. He wasn't good in the qualifying final where he then pinged a hamstring.
Yeah.
I feel
I'll
that,
give you another reason.
Yep.
In 2022 against the Cats, they played
Sam Reid.
Who
Yep.
was undone,
Gone before quarter time.
gone before quarter. And
Yep.
then I reckon the last...
In 2016,
Who was that?
Callum Mills himself. It was his first year in the AFL system as the rising star. He was injured in that before that game. They played him with a hamstring.
right.
He played all right,
Yeah.
but not as good as he had been. And also Jared McVeigh, who took
Yes,
a calf
that's right.
into that game.
So Horse might just say, no,
Yeah.
we're taking fit players in only.
There's been a no
should say
distractions
that.
policy all year with him. I referred to the Dean Cox situation and the linking of him to the West Coast job. I've got no doubt Horse just sorted that out behind the scenes quite quickly where Dean Cox was not going to the West Coast quite quickly, so as an assistant coach. And then you've got the Taylor Adams situation, which unfortunately he's not even in the conversation, unfortunately.
Not even in the conversation.
Well, who's going to come out, Bill, out of a team that has won a qualifying final and then dominated a preliminary final? You're not making a change to that team without injury being at play.
Should you back Brody Grundy to win the Norm Smith?
That's another dynamic of this issue too.
Yeah.
Grody Grundy.
Yep.
Every player on the ground is going to be under pressure, but there's a particular ramped up pressure right now on Brodie Grundy because of the expectation that he's going to do a number on Darcy Ford. So that's all at play. The two coaches are intriguing, aren't they, Jim? I know you've got a lot of time for both of them. And unfortunately come to, 5:15, 5:30, whatever it's going to be on Saturday afternoon, one of them's going to be in a world of hurt from a losing another grand final perspective. Chris Fagan lost one by 4 points last year. And as we know, John Longmire has lost the 2014, 16 and 22 grand finals.
So he'll be 1 and 4.
He'll be 1 and 4.
The judges.
And Chris will be 0 and 2.
Yeah.
And both are amazing coaches.
Both don't deserve that.
They don't deserve to have that type of sports trauma applied to them. But one of them is going to be living that unfortunate nightmare.
Getting back to the ruck situation, we were talking about this Saturday off air. I actually discussed it a bit on air too. If that game was played in the mid-90s, early to mid-90s, and McInerney's shoulder pops out and he's playing against Alex Zashenko or Scott Wind, they're clubbing that shoulder for the rest of the game. They're literally
banging
into it for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
No one touched him.
No, and I like that aspect of it. I really do, Jim. I know what you were saying, and that was a different era, and it was accepted and expected. But it's not now. I mean, you even
Nick
saw
Revolt like.
But you're allowed to bump it. You're allowed to bump him.
No, you are. And look,
Yeah.
there's no doubt. There is no doubt that he was getting hit in the contest in a way that I think was in play. But you notice when Dangerfield went up to him when he done it the second time and the agony that he was in. You see Dangerfield actually almost try to comfort him in that moment.
It must be horrifically painful.
It must hurt.
be.
Oh,
Yeah.
He looked in
He
pain.
can't play.
Yeah.
Big O, he can't play.
Big O.
No.
No.
right.
And then they've got the rock stars element of the game too. I mean, your man Jim and the man you keep telling us looks like you,
He does,
Isaac
and he's
Heaney.
tough like me.
And then I was wrapped for Cam Rayner and the two goals that he kicked. Yeah,
Because 4 touches to half time,
Yep.
and everyone had focused on the fact that his finals record hadn't probably been as good as his talent says it should be. His second half was ridiculous.
It was. Those long goals, one at the punt road end in the third quarter, and then
that
the last
last
one,
one,
left footer. Yeah, that was an amazing passage of play.
And Archie, he just kicks goals.
He
he
does.
does.
Kicks goals.
He does. He's a big time player.
Right,
Archie.
and their back 6 were amazing.
Yeah, they were.
The Lions.
Yeah.
They were Wilmot and
Lester.
Payne and Lester and Starcevic.
Yeah.
They were fantastic.
Yeah, they really were. As a collective.
Zach Barley could have kicked 5. He missed a few, didn't he?
He was on song though, wasn't he? And he had I think a mixed season. I don't think, I believe anyway, they wanted him to do a little bit more in the season, but it's hard to do. And we saw what he did in the first quarter of last year's grand final when he kicked 2 of the great goals
Who
of
wins,
all time.
Damien?
I've got the Swans, Bill. I just the fact that the whole Oscar McInerney thing is just I was wavering, but that being at play has led me to head down that path.
Actually, I know it's the latest game I saw, so maybe I'm slanting it that way. If the Lions play on Saturday the way they did in those last 3 quarters, they win the game, I reckon.
Yeah.
That was flint hard.
Yeah, it was.
They were. That is just magnificent what they were able to put together.
And then you throw in the last quarter and a half of the previous week against GWS where they were 44 points down, and you make that as a package, and this team is hitting the line as hard as you
Kyle
can.
Lohman, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah.
What the hell?
Speaking of superstars, he
Yes.
looked like Trevor Barker.
He does.
Taking hangers, the blonde hair.
And the license to do it too, and the preparedness to do it. And you mentioned Wilmot, but that mark he took in that key play, he needed to take it because they were away again. So, no, there's elements to this game that are genuinely exciting across all levels.
There were 2 white-hot teams.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the Lions have won 13 in their last 15. The Swans now 6 in a row or whatever they are. So
Yeah, they got it going. It was a game against Collingwood when, again, they were 4 goals down in the last quarter from
Friday night
memory,
game,
and their big names stood up. Heaney stood up in the last quarter. Warner kicked the goal that got him going, and then Goulden kicked the one that put him in front. They won that game by a kick, and that turned them around internally as well. They just felt they were back on song.
Right, so does the week in Melbourne with no Melbourne team in it?
Yep.
Are we concerned about that at all? Does it do anything to the vibe of this magnificent city?
Look, they've both got significant enough connections to this town, don't they? And I love that aspect of it. The Swans have always had that South Melbourne
Bloods.
fraternity. Yeah.
Yep.
And it was hard for that fraternity back in the 80s when they was shunted off to the Sydney with no guarantees of future. There were no bankrolling of this. There was no underwriting of it. They just went up there and made it work and Barry round as much as anyone.
Wheels
made
Bedford.
it work.
We'll see Wheels.
Well, I don't think he
Wheels
was
is
playing
there.
there, Jim. But
No, he wasn't playing, but don't worry, we'll see him this
We'll
week.
see him
Wheels.
this week, yeah.
that's
Brownlow.
we will.
And
He's
the
one of the
Fitzroy.
rippers, Will. Yeah, and then the Fitzroy, that was ugly because the AFL did kill Fitzroy off, and the relationship between the initial Brisbane club with the Fitzroy fraternity was not good, but they have seriously worked on that over the journey to the point where it's a very, very all-in arrangement.
Katy
So,
Perry,
Yes.
what's she going to sing?
Tiger. Song after me.
Eye of the Tiger.
I don't know what it is.
I think it's called Raw, but that's
It's called
all right.
Raw.
Have you got any words for Fat Shirt as we let you go?
Do you like it,
It's
Damien?
not your finest, Bill.
No, it's not. It's a
sorry.
long way from your finest.
Brad Pitt.
Did you wear that to that function?
Yes, I did.
Oh, no.
And tell
We're
you
gonna
what,
get to the
they're
bottom
lining
of-
up for a photo.
I think it's the Triple XL.
It's the Gazman.
You reckon?
By the end of the show, we're going to actually find
No,
out
it's not.
who makes that horrendous
Nothing
shirt.
wrong with it.
Well done,
man.
Purple.
Thank you, boys.
You can
See
hear
ya.
Damo as part of
Enjoy
the
the
final
Brownlow.
edition
See ya,
of the
Damien.
midweek rub as well on Wednesday. It's the Rush Hour, Triple M.